Hi, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to talk to you about Agile Manifesto, or this is the first video in the Agile by Example series. What is all about Agile? So today I'll be explaining you the bit history about Agile, why Agile is so popular and important. Let's take an example. Consider you have decided to construct your own dream house. What do? You just go for an architect, sit with him, explain your wishes. He'll come back to you with a plan, and you will construct a house by a plan. Super. Early 2000, the software development was also like that. It's something like a waterfall model, where the customer will approach you, you will go through the requirement, you will clarify with him, you will prepare an architecture, you will develop the software, you will test the software, and you will give to the customer. Very like the earlier house construction example. But in software, it may not work that way. If you're a software engineer, you might have seen the similar issues because sometimes things will go out of plan because of the market needs. If the software development life cycle is so large, when the customer approaches you, the list of features might have changed over the period because of the market needs. Then you may need to deviate the plan. That's the problem with the waterfall model in software development. So in 2001, on a November 13th, 17 software professionals gathered in a mountain resort in United States. They were just there to hang out. They were discussing, because they're all from the software industry, they were discussing about the problems in the software development. So what they decided, so then they were brainstorming how to solve these issues. And the outcome of that brainstorm session is called Agile Manifesto. They came up with a set of principles, a manifesto for software development. So let's talk about the Agile Manifesto. What are the things they decided or they prepared during that gathering? So I have my own notes here. I'll just review those 4 items here. Agile Manifesto is a set of 4 high-level principles. In fact, there are 12 principles in Agile, but it's like a top 4 commandments. The first principle or the first item in the manifesto is individuals and interactions over process and tools. So in waterfall model, we were following a very strict process, or we were using more tools. We were like creating a lot of reports to see the performance and all those things. But in Agile, it emphasizes we need to focus more on individuals and communication between those individuals than relying upon process and tools. The second point is working software over comprehensive documentation. In Agile software development, it's a mandate feature that all the time you should have a small working software. It may not have all the features, it may be a part of the software, but it should be working. In earlier days, what happens in a traditional waterfall model, people prepare the architecture and all those things, but during the implementation, things may not work. So they will end up with a lot of documentation about architecture, all those things, test cases. But if you don't have a working software, what is the benefit? Agile request us to focus on the working software than comprehensive documentation. The first one is individuals and interactions over process and tools. By the way, please note that it doesn't mean that you should not use any process or you should not use any tools. The second one is you should not document your code. But the focus is more towards working software. And of course, documentation is needed. But the documentation adds business value when you have a working software. The third point is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. What do you mean by working software over comprehensive documentation? So Agile follows mostly, if you're following the Scrum, you will have an iterative model where after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, after a sprint, you will be releasing a working piece of software to the customer so that he can just quickly look at it and he can review. Maybe, he may have some ideas in mind. He will look at it and he will give you feedback. So, you will be delivering software over iterative model and small pieces by pieces. For model, you are not delivering anything iteratively or incrementally. You are delivering something in the end of the development cycle. Suppose if a customer might think, ask you to prepare an apple, but you will be delivering something orange. That's a problem. Then that's not recoverable. But if you're delivering working software over this short period, you will get real-time responses from the customer because he is the boss. He knows what he needs. Then you have a time to change the implementation, change the features, and you're closely working on the small feedback loop. That's advantage. The third one is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So I can tell you from one of my experience. So is when I was doing some freelancing along with my primary job, I got a customer. They were asking us to develop a basic WordPress software. And it was for a driving school, in Netherlands. So he has given me some ideas. I prepared a basic WordPress site and I gave it to him, but he was not happy at all because he was expecting something else. And he's not from a software background. He knows what it should look like. And of course, during the first interviews, he explained a few things, but it was not sufficient. And what I did, I asked him where if I can go to his office, work with him in his office for a couple of days. He agreed, and we just sat together. Of course, he knows what needs to be built. I know how to do it. So we just sat together in a real-time mode, and he was always accessible, and we developed that site in a few days. That's customer collaboration over contract negotiation. We are involving the end customer into the business and taking their feedback, working with them closely, and improvising our development process. The next one is responding to change than following a plan. Doesn't mean that Agile do not follow a plan. Agile has a plan. Agile, if you are going for a scaled Agile, we have a plan based on the product increments and all those things, which will come later. But we are ready to deviate from the plan if it adds business value. The fourth point is responding to a change than following a plan. We should have a mindset to change things than following a plan. Stick with the plan. Yeah. So these are the 4 principles: individuals and interactions, our process and tools, working software than comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration, our contract negotiation, responding to change than following a plan. You should not by heart these things, but you should take it in your mind. You should implement it in your day-to-day life. Because I always tell, because usually when an organization goes through an agile transformation, you will get instruction from the top to bottom approach. But I always say, you cannot implement agile by enforcing. The people should have a mindset. So as an individual, as an agile team player, you should take these points into considerations. You should always think about, business values. These are the points in the Agile Manifesto. Then few other points. So in earlier waterfall model, the project manager, he was the one who was estimating the effort for the work. So when a customer approaches the company, the project manager or upper layer management will estimate the work without asking the subject matter experts, which is the development team. And it will be surely a disaster. In Agile, the team is responsible for estimating their work. That's a key difference. But this video was just an introduction about the Agile Manifesto. I will be talking more about the implementation side from my own practical examples. And I will be mentioning those 12 Agile principles other than these 4 key items in the description below. I don't want to echo it here because it's in plain English. You can understand it. Let's make this video very short. Thank you for watching. I'll come back to you in a week with the next session in this series. See you. Bye.